Okay, so this is my third time making this video, and I've been interrupted by my husband, the dogs, and the kids, and I just locked my bedroom door so I can get this done. And my room's a mess, but it is what it is. So if you're here about the Leep, because obviously it's in my description. This is, So, how I got to getting the Leep, and I will get to my story in the Leep, and if you don't, you can just fast forward through this. But I'm pretty sure if you're getting the Leep, you've had the same things too. So I had some cramping, so I decided to go and get a pap and ultrasound. Well, my doctor recommended the ultrasound because we thought maybe I had a cyst. I had been having consistent cramping for about 2 months, but it didn't hurt to have sex. I hadn't had a period because I had the arm birth control. I forget what it is. I don't have it anymore. I took it out. And I'm sorry about the reflection in my glasses, but I literally am just like, I went blind all of a sudden. I just can't see without my glasses. So, anyways, off point. So I went in, I had an ultrasound done, which looked great. My cervix and my uterus looked awesome and amazing. I had my pap, and he said from looking from the outside, it looked great. He didn't see anything wrong. So about 3 weeks, I didn't hear anything, and I thought, well, if no news is good news, that's how I always roll with my book. Right after that, I mean, like a day or two after I thought that in my head, I got a call from my nurse at my doctor's office, and she said, you need to come in for a biopsy. You have some high-grade lesions. So automatically I'm looking up on Google, and I'm thinking, and all I read is cervical cancer, cervical cancer, cervical cancer, and I'm a stressful person, I anxiety, that's just how I am. So I'm thinking, oh my god, I have cervical cancer. So we scheduled out for 2 weeks, so I thought to myself, okay, well, they scheduled out for 2 weeks, so for the biopsy to see what grade it was. So we went out for 2 weeks, and I thought, okay, if it's 2 weeks, I'm not going to worry about it, but internally I was still like freaking out a little bit. And I didn't know it was a form of HPV yet, and my sister has HPV, and she said that, she's never had to do anything other than a biopsy. So I thought in my head, okay, I have what she has, I'm just going to do a biopsy, it's going to be the end of it. So I go in for my biopsy, which honestly was, I heard horror stories about it. It was like a pap smear, just a little bit extra clipping. They took 3 samples off my cervix. It was rice size, and the worst part of that was the pressure. I mean, it didn't even hurt. So oh, and I saw my cervix. Never do. It was awful because they spray something that dyes a different color anyways. So he said that he was pretty sure that it was high grade 2 or 3, and he wanted to schedule a Leep right there, and we had that scheduled for 2 more weeks out. So then again, I thought, okay, he just wants to be cautious. We're gonna go 2 weeks out. Haven't had a period in 2 years. Start my period. So a couple of days before. So I call and I say, look, I'm on my period. Can I still have it? And he said, absolutely not. So we scheduled it for 3 more weeks out. So now we're 5 weeks out from my pap smear. And again, I'm telling myself, this is fine. They wouldn't be like, pushing it out if it was anything serious. So I'm off my period, and I'm about to start it again because they waited so long. And I'm like a week from starting my period. So I tell them, I'm like, I just want to get this over with. So we do the Leep. Now the Leep, you hear a lot of things. My doctor's office, so they ground you with a big hand size of a sticker on your thigh. Don't put lotion on because you'll have to wash it off if you do, because I had lotion on my legs. So they slap this thing on you and they ground you to this machine. And they so they get you in the stirrups, they put the little speculum thing inside, and the lidocaine. See, I only got lidocaine, which was pretty intense. The lidocaine, the shot itself was fine. It was like a pinch. Okay, it's the side effects you get from lidocaine. My head hurt. I had ringing of the ears, very loud ringing, and if you are anxiety high, like if you have high anxiety like me, that like triggered a panic attack. But once you breathe and get through it, and the side effects really wear off quickly, and he said that was perfectly normal. It goes to your head like that. As long as those lasted, I was almost done. The worst part of the Leep that no one told me about was the smell of the Leep. Okay, the pressure, yeah, the pressure was pretty intense, but it was nothing intolerable. Because the lidocaine, I mean, it really does numb your cervix. You just feel pressure. But the burning of your cervix. Oh, and maybe it's because, okay, so like I said, I had waited 5 weeks out because I had waited 2 weeks for the biopsy, and then I started my period, so then I had to wait. Then they couldn't schedule me for another 3 weeks, so I was 5 weeks out from my PAP. So when I first went in for the biopsy, he said it was a nickel size, which is a pretty great amount, but it wasn't excessive. So anyways, 5 weeks out from that point on, when he saw the nickel size, maybe it's because I had more, but they took off, okay, so my cervix, the whole opening to your cervical, he took off all of that, all the way to the edge, because he had to get fresh tissue too to make sure they got it all. So he took off the whole tip of my cervix, burned it off, and I'm telling you, the smell was awful. And I saw little chunks of my cervix. So they called me a couple days later, and they said, you know, he got it all, you know, all the abnormal tissue was out, and that he thought he knew what he thought it was, and it was, but he didn't give me the full results over the phone. I had an appointment 4 weeks later for follow-up to make sure it was healing. That was today. So today I went in and I saw him, and he checked me to make sure I was healing, and he said my cervix looked wonderful, but I had grade 3 CIN, and he said that if I had waited a couple more weeks, or months I meant, that it probably would have turned into cervical cancer. So I had no symptoms up only cramping. So I'm glad I went in, because I rescheduled twice, and I almost didn't go to this next appointment. So in my mind, it's like a weight lifted off my chest. So I had grade 3. If I would have waited a couple more months, it probably would have been cervical cancer. It was pretty deep in my cervix, but he got it all. Now I go back in 5 more months for a recheck and to make sure if it's normal. Yay! So I go back every 6 months for the next 2 or 3 years. Until he feels comfortable and not making me go, which is fine. And if we get another abnormal result, I talked about surgery, maybe hysterectomy, because I don't want to keep doing this every 6 months. But he had a good point. So, sorry I'm looking at my phone. It's just I'm getting text messages and Facebook things, and they're distracting me. Anyway, sorry, my stomach hurts. So we talked about doing another Leep procedure, and he's right. It's easier, it's less invasive, and the worst part was a lot of cane. And if I did it the first time, I could definitely do it the second time. So we'll probably do another Leep procedure if it comes back down to that. He is hopeful that it's not going to come back. He said that my cervix looked great this time, and that he feels that he got it all, and he feels like it's going to stay away. No, HPV. Now I heard that, and I automatically freaked out, because you see all these commercials and cervical cancer. If you are HPV positive, I would definitely recommend you getting annual checkups soon, because I mean, a few more months and I could have had cervical cancer, and I mean, that's scary. I have kids. I have a baby. I have a 2-year-old. Like, what is my family gonna do if I had to have surgery, chemo, radiation, or even died? Like, those things cross my mind. Like, if I hadn't gone, I could have had cancer. And I think the devastation, like, I am like the train that runs this family. I make sure everyone's got clean clothes, eats, cleans. I just tell myself, like, and I waited 6 years before for a PAP, and I will never do that again. So yeah, so my pathology, I got the report, and I still have the report. I kept it. I asked if I could have it, because I'm a psycho like that. But so I go back in 5 months, and I'm going to do an update in 5 months, probably after I get my results back. I might do a before, like when I go, like what it's like, and then when I get the results, do the results. But so far it was just high grade stage 3, and wasn't cervical cancer yet, and I really praise God for that, because like I said, I need to be here for my family. Like, we depend on each other. And like I said, I have a 2-year-old to a 14-year-old. I cannot leave my babies, and they're all my babies. And I think to myself, how scary that I almost let it go. So if you are scared for the Leep, trust me, it is so worth it. You would rather do that than get cancer and do all the horrific treatments that I heard that you have to go through sometimes, because sometimes surgery doesn't take care of it. So yeah, if you're watching this because you're gonna get the Leep and you're scared, being scared and the negatives to the Leep outweigh the risk of like cancer or other things. Like anesthesia is not safe for everybody, and for a 10-minute procedure, I mean, you should not be under anesthesia. For it's just not. It's not the way to go. If you're gonna get the Leep, it's the fastest, smoothest way to go. And I'm telling you, it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. And if you're scared, take somebody with you to hold your hand. I literally had somebody hold my hand and rub my face because I'm a psycho like that. But it comforts me. And I told them to remind me to breathe because I was having a panic attack because I wasn't sure what the lidocaine was gonna do. I don't think it would happen again because I've already experienced it and I know that it wasn't that bad. So, I mean, honestly, the Leep compared to what it could have been was way better than I thought. I googled it and I read all these horror stories and I thought, scared myself, and it wasn't that bad. So again, please, if your doctor recommended, do it. It's 10 minutes of your life that is worth it. And I'm just happy that I don't have any cancer, and I knew that he thought it was serious because my doctor's not very good about hiding the truth. But I'm still like, I'm on a high right now knowing that we don't have cancer, and I can go 5 more months worry free. And yeah, so I'll see you in 5 more months. I might make a different video, I'm not sure. But yeah, have a good day. It's Friday for me, yay. So I gotta go pick up my daughter's glasses, and then it's the weekend, so we get to do whatever we want, so that makes it really exciting. I'm actually going hiking this weekend, so yeah, so see you later. That was cheesy. Bye.